Well, good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Grab a cup of whatever you drink in the morning, and let's talk about war and economic collapse. That's very possibly what's coming. That's what I want to talk about. If you're new to us, welcome. It's great to have you. We have new people joining all the time, and we love that. We're a nice place. We're a polite place. We don't come on here and fight. We come on here and express opinions. Somebody said so. Welcome and participate to that extent and within that framework. Make sure, by the way, make sure that you are subscribed. Hit the thumbs up if you would. It helps. Give us a like and leave a comment. A respectful and a courteous one. You can make a statement, you can ask a question, whatever you'd like to do. We have a great bunch of people here, and we love all the new people that are coming in the same way. Somebody said the other day, they told me, you're a voice of reason in a crazy world, and I like that. I like that. You know, the world is crazy. The preparedness world is full of fear. And that serves no purpose as far as I'm concerned. You know, I've lived a life where I dealt with many emergency situations and many critical situations, and I never found that working out of fear or getting all excited was very helpful. You need a reasonable approach, you need common sense, you need reasoning abilities, you need a plan, you need to be able to articulate it, and you need to be able to put that plan into action. That's how you solve problems. That's how you prepare for potential threats. And so that's what we do here, and I like that. And I want to thank that person that said you're a voice of reason in a crazy world. Well, maybe I'll begin starting my videos with that. A voice of reason in a crazy world. I have to say that a number of times before it, trips off the tongue. Okay, I hope you all had a good Christmas, by the way. We had a fantastic Christmas. Every Christmas is great, of course, and family around, and we had a chance to have some real good discussions around the Christmas table. Hope you did too. Okay, war and economic collapse. Both of them look like they could be headed our way. Okay. Nothing to get all twisted around the axle about. I mean, yes, they are. If either happens, they're going to be horrible. But in order to prepare for them, you have to approach them logically and reasonably, as I said. And how this is going to come to us, we don't yet know. We don't yet. We know that they're pushing us into war. Matter of fact, I what was it? I don't remember, but I watched, somehow something popped up, a couple of channels about five, you know how the channels love 5 things to do or 5 things to get or 5 ways to, whatever, or 10 ways, whatever, because people like that, and I understand it. And one of them was from, who is it? Modern Survivalist. That guy from Argentina. I remember watching a few of his years and years and years ago. It's not a channel that I watched, but I watched his, and then I watched one, and I think it might have been as a result of a comment over on our Patreon channel. One from Wrangler Star: 5 things that you need to survive an economic collapse. And also, Wrangler Star is not one I've watched a few of his years ago. Is not a channel that I watch. I'll probably do a follow-up to this one about some things you need to do, but I'm going to cover most of it here, I think. I disagree with, well, pretty much everything Wrangler Star said, to be honest. I mean, we are not the 5 tools that you need, the 5 this things, but whatever. Most of us, are not woodworkers or lumberjacks or anything like that, and so I'm not sure where the application was there. And also, it's important, and I've had a number of people over the years recommend that guy from Argentina, but I want to make a point here that this is not Argentina. Now, if you're in Argentina, it is Argentina, right? Those of you who are watching from Argentina, I'm sure that these things would make a lot of sense to you. Or if you're in Australia, it's going to be different. If you're in Europe, it's going to be different. But here in the United States, or Canada for the most part, things are different than Argentina. So I will have some different, I won't say that, he's wrong for Argentina, but I'll give you some different insights for what I would recommend for the States or Canada and maybe parts of Europe and Australia. I don't know. I've never lived in Europe. I've never lived in Australia. So I'll leave it up to those of you who do to let us know about that. War. They are pushing us to war. And of course, they're collapsing our country from the inside with this invasion that they are assisting of illegals into our country, large groups of people, millions of people who have entered our country, many of whom hate our country. Okay, when Trump came down the escalator and said they're not bringing their best, well, he was exactly right. Now, many of these people are excellent people. Many people who are here illegally, I would love to have them living next door to me because of the kind of person you are. I understand they came to our country illegally, but if I was in their position and I saw there was a golden goose up north and I wanted to make sure that my kids had good food and didn't have to dodge gunfights all the time and well, you know what I mean, better opportunities, I might do the same. It's not those people that I blame, it's our government for our policies that drive these things. But however, among many of these things are people who hate us, and they come here with criminal intent and continue their criminal behavior, thereby posing many dangers to American citizens. And of course, we aren't, but our government is giving them all sorts of money. I think most of them get treated better than our vets. Or let me throw this in here too. We make a lot issues of our vets, and rightfully so. These are people who stood up and gave a part of their lives to serve our country, and I love that. I have a lot of good friends who are vets. All my family served in every war since the beginning. I went a different way. I went law enforcement, so I also want to send out one for the law enforcement. The law enforcement people served also. I mean, they went out every day and for years and years and years and years. So I will say also that a lot of these people, so I want to throw not just law enforcement, fire, emergency medical, all these people who have served their communities, deserve to be treated at least as well as illegal aliens when they need it, right? Okay. So war, yeah, they're pushing us at it. They want us into it over in the Middle East. That's the big one. Ukraine was just a sideshow getting the American people ready for this, but the Middle East is the big show. Now, let me mention economic collapse, and then I'll say how these two work together. Economic collapse, is economic collapse coming? Well, I don't see how it cannot be. They've flooded our monetary systems with phony money, for years and years and years. It's not real money. It's just buying capabilities. Through quantitative easing, they drove up the money supply, which is what inflation is. People have this idea that rising prices is inflation. That's not inflation. Inflation is an increase in the money supply, which as a result depresses the value of existing money, thereby driving up prices. Okay, there's your economics lesson for today. But the result that we feel, of course, is rising prices, right? Okay, so everybody's afraid of an economic collapse without really understanding what an economic collapse might look like and how to prepare for it. Now, the war and economic collapse go hand in hand because a lot of times our government, our people, the Democrats, for the most part, when they finally get themselves into a big enough financial mess, they get into a war to get the people's mind off of the economic mess and then get us drive the economy. War is good for business. Read Smedley Butler's War is a Racket if you don't understand how wars are used to help the economy. Okay. to get the American people together behind a big lie that they think is the truth, and then to make money for the corporations, which trickles down a little bit into the economy. Well, now it's different because back in World War II, the economy that was going to be built was the American economy. Now, with the international and the global economic system, a lot of those benefits are not coming to the American people or American companies or the American economy. It's going to go across the world. So the war is not going to have the same positive effect on the economy as it used to. But I think that well, these people are globalists. It's going to help them as it always does. It's just not going to help the American people. Let's start with economic collapse. If there is economic collapse, what happens? What happens? People will tell you, the fear mongers will tell you that your money's not going to be good for anything. It's not going to be worth anything. They've been saying this for years. Don't believe them. Now, it's worth less and less and less. That doesn't mean it's not worth anything. Okay? As a result of inflation, your buying power for your dollar has decreased. However, it's still good. It is the method by which we trade goods and services. Okay? So don't believe these people, and the preparedness world and channels is full of this misinformation. Your money's not going to be worth anything. Your fiat currency is going to crash. Well, it might. It might. And then they'll want you to buy gold. Okay? And most of them get their information from commercials from gold companies. They don't even realize that they read these things and they don't realize the fine print. This is promoted by such and such gold. Okay? So they think they know. Let me throw in something about, I don't care. You want to buy precious metals, buy precious metals. But I don't. I never have. It's not something that is, well, I'll leave it right there. You want to buy it, fine. But let me explain something to you. When a collapse happens, when a depression happens, what happens to prices? They go down, right? You remember the $5 for a loaf of bread, a dime for a pound of bologna. Boy, I wish we had those prices now. Well, it's because they weren't making any money. See, when there's an economic collapse, everything goes down, and the price of goods and services has to go down in order to get anybody buying them, right? That's what happens. Now, the price of commodities goes down too, right? The cost. Okay, right? What is gold? Let me ask you that. What's gold? You'll have some people tell you, it's the magic metal that has always been money, which it hasn't. It's the magic metal that is never loses its value. It has. It's the magic money by which whatever. I mean, gold is a commodity. Okay? Gold is a commodity. What is it backed by? Everybody goes through this. Fiat currency is not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold. Well, what's gold backed by? Well, it's gold. Okay, that's a simplistic answer. It's gold, all right? No, it's not backed by anything except people's desire for it and an agreed upon a price, which the market drives the price. But listen to this. Now pay attention here. If there's an economic collapse, what happens to gold? Remember what gold is? It's a commodity. What happens to the price of commodities? It goes down. So if we go into a depression, which means the prices of everything are going to go down, 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 down. Well, many people's wages are too, down, down, down. Do you think gold's not going with it? Gold is going exactly with it. Gold is going down, way down. What's going to go up? What's going to go up? See, this is what a lot of people they don't figure out themselves. And even when I tell them, they have a hard time getting their head around it. The value of your dollars, the value of those dollar bills in your desk drawer, or hopefully $100 bills. Okay, that value goes up. All of a sudden, you were paying. I don't know. I don't buy bologna, but I don't know what bologna costs. $4 for a bologna. A pound of bologna. Okay, so you've got $4 in your desk drawer, and you can go buy a pound of bologna. Well, all of a sudden it goes down, a crash, right? And now bologna is 40 cents a pound. How many pounds can you buy with your $4? Okay, see, that's the thing, and that's what most people don't realize. They think that fiat currency is going to crash, and and then their goal is going to be worth a lot. Fiat currencies, when they crash, you know what they are replaced by? They aren't replaced by gold or silver or platinum or titanium or anything. They're replaced by another fiat currency. See, all that means is a fiat currency is a currency that is agreed upon by a large enough group of people to create an economy for which they will exchange for goods and services. That's what it is. Don't let these people mislead you in this. Now, we have some economists that are projecting a depression in 2024. I don't doubt it. It's coming. It has had to come. It's come more slowly than I thought that it might, and many people did. We expected more of a crash before this, but the bubbles are bubbling, and there's no way it continues to sustain itself. It has to come down at one point, and I think that point is soon. There are some economists projecting an 80% crash. Try to wrap your head around that. What is going to go up in purchasing power? I won't even say value, but that's what value is. Purchasing power. The money you have. Now, see, here's the thing. You might lose your job. You might take big hits on your pay. And they say, well, the economy is horrible. You've been making $40 an hour. If you want to stay, we've got to take you down to $8 an hour. Well, how do you do that, right? I mean, I'll get into that in future videos, but that's what could happen. Or you lose your job completely, and now you're out there scruffing on the streets. Okay, here's the thing. You need, the thing that I would tell you, and this kind of goes into, I'll put out another one about the things you need to get ready for depression. First off, you need cash, and you need, first off, food. I'll say food. Food is the baseline of all preparedness, except in an economic collapse in which food is still available. Okay, did you follow me there? If food is still available and you have cash, you're going to be able to buy all the food you want. Simple as that. But still start with food. Food, you should have it. You should never need to buy any food for years if you have stocked enough food. But second to that, cash. As the economy collapses, the value of your dollars, your not your gold, of your cash on hand skyrockets. See what I mean? Not necessarily the value in the bank. Your bank might collapse. Well, it's insured up to 100 and whatever it is nowadays. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's insured. Maybe someday you'll get some of it. How does that help you next week? Your bank collapses. FDIC will come along and send you some emails or some letters and say, well, we're working on it, and here's the 100 loops we want you to jump through to get some of your money back, maybe not all. Now, how does war affect that? War drives an economy. So this is why they might want to get this war started and us involved in it, meaning the United States, before the economy completely collapses. That presents an entirely different challenge, right? Now they're going to try to suck up all of our young people into, and we've had people say, well, I don't think they could have a draft, and maybe not. I mean, we have one of our patrons over on the Patreon channel, Hondo Bob, that explained how difficult it would be to have a draft now, and he knows more about it than I do. He was career military, but the government can screw things up majorly, and sometimes they just try to get out there and do something, and by the might of its weight and mass, It starts things, right? It screws them up most of the time, but it can start things. And I'll talk about how I feel about an impending draft in another one. But they might try to save themselves from the results of an economic collapse and a depression with a war. They want to get us into it. They've been trying for a long time. They want it, and it looks like things are headed that way. So how do you prepare yourself for that? That probably is, I should probably wait for another one on that. But general preparedness is what you want for that. General preparedness. Separate yourself from dependency on all of those external systems over which you have little or no control, meaning all your housing, food, water, power, defense, groups, people. And make sure that no matter what happens out there, you're going to be all right. We talk about, my tagline on this is we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And that's really what it is. I live a good life, and I hope you do too. I want to continue to live a good life, and I want you to as well. I have no desire to be out there just surviving and hard scrabbling and trying to make do from a day to day, and patching up with baling wire and twine, some kind of life. This is what real preparedness is about. It's not about being able to do with very little, although you should be able to. I can, but unfortunately, God has blessed me and I don't have to right now. It's not about just a subsistence living. It's about living well. And people have lived well through every collapse, every war, every challenge, every threat. There are those who have lived well and those who have not. And it's all about foresight, planning, and execution. Okay? So I'll do another one on the things that you need to survive an economic collapse. As I said, as far as what other channels say, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what I think you need in today's world. For those of you who aren't lumberjacks, and I'll do that in a separate one. But here, this is the thing. War is probably coming. An economic collapse is almost certainly coming. CME's coming someday. We have plenty of things to prepare for, right? And you need, if you're not prepared, you need to get on the stick and get prepared. For those of us who have been involved in this lifestyle for many, many years, we need to be constantly aware of the developing situations and always taking a look at, self-checking. Is there anything we need to tweak? Is there anything we can get better on? It shouldn't consume your life. That's another thing that I want to say. Don't let this consume your life. Let it be simply a positive part of your lifestyle. And the more it's a part of your lifestyle and the more positive it is, when a big situation comes along, you're going to be able to move more seamlessly into that while maintaining the quality of your life. Okay, that's it. War and economic collapse. Are they coming? Yeah, I think so. Get ready. Stay ready. And think about what I said. Stack your cash. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And it's the day after Christmas. And boy, even though New Year's is kind of when everybody thinks about, starting, it's I always think of it as Christmas. After Christmas, it's kind of goes, I didn't even tell you about my books this time. I don't have them right there. They're over across the room, so I'm not going to go over and get them. If you want the complete plan of how to prepare for, how to survive, and how to rebuild after a complete collapse of everything, which would include war, it would include economic collapse, whatever, my books, the Stonemont series, they're available on Amazon, and they're just flying. As a matter of fact, I ran out, or you can get them from me also. That's what I'm getting here. You can order them directly from me through our website, stonemont.us. You'll love the story. There's 6 books: the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. You will love the story. You will learn a lot from them, and the links are down below. They're the complete plan. And if you're not with us on Patreon, I invite you over there. Love to have you over there. It's a great community. We have some very smart people over there. I put extra stuff on Patreon that I don't put here on YouTube. Well, if you're watching on Patreon, you're here, right? That I don't put on YouTube. And there's many reasons for that. But in addition to the things that I put on, we have some very smart people over there, and they contribute, and you'll learn a lot from them too. It's only $1 a month for the first level. If you want to hear me reading the audibles of the Stone Mount series, we're now, I think, up to chapter 13 of the revival. That's the Stone Mount level, the next level up, and you can hear me reading the audibles. So however you want to do it, join us. You'll like it, and we'd love to have you. And get ready, guys. And I know I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. We prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Prepare well, because you want to live well, and it's important, and you can. Y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.